So here are all the letters laying out. Let me get in frame. They're about a foot wide each, maybe a little bit more. I used a 6.5mm crochet hook. It takes me about an hour to crochet each letter, so it's a fairly fast workup, so 26 hours for very large coverage, that's good. I also doubled up my yarn, so if you want to make them about half the size, just don't double up your yarn and go with a smaller hook. Otherwise, this was super easy and a good introduction to learning to use alphas. All 26 alphas are for sale on my website if you want like the large PDF version, but if not, you can just zoom in and copy them. I'm sure it's not that difficult. Anyways, let's get started. This is the yarn I'm using. It's just a size 4 medium weight yarn, nothing fancy. I have a 6.5mm crochet hook and I'm doubling up my yarn, meaning I'm crocheting with 2 strands. And, you know, I just like doing this because it works up so much faster and the product you end up with is like super plush. That's just my preference. You need 2 colors per letter, and I'm going to show you how to use the alpha. So I'm using pink and white, and the alpha I'm showing you will be in pink and white. To get started, I'm going to do a slip knot. Oh, also before I get started, I just want to mention this is not a tutorial that's going to teach you how to crochet. You kind of have to know the basics before you get started. If you're not comfortable, I'd recommend trying a few beginner tutorials, getting used to holding your hook and stuff like that, and then coming back to this. So I like to start off with a slip knot, and you can either foundation double crochet or you can chain and then double crochet into those chains. I prefer to foundation double crochet, but it's totally up to you. You need to do 28, so you can either chain 28 plus 2 and then double crochet back into those 28 to get your foundation row, or you can foundation double crochet, which I'm going to show you right now. To do that, you're going to chain 3. So you're going to yarn over, put your hook in that first stitch, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That is your first foundation double crochet row. So this is where the chains are, and then this is your foundation double crochet. Oh, and a lot of people complain that the way I hold my hook is really difficult to see. I'm sorry, I can't really change the way I crochet. So I'm going to show you again. Yarn over, we're going to insert our hook into the stitch we just created. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 2. I'm going to show you again. Yarn over, insert your hook into the top of that last stitch we just created, right there. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I've got 3, and as you can see, this is where our foundation chains kind of start. Not chains. Oh my gosh, our foundation row starts. And I'd prefer to do this just because, I don't know, I think it's a little bit neater. But again, if you'd like to do the chain rows, that's fine. As long as you have 28 double crochets, you're good to go. So I'm going to continue this until I have 28 foundation double crochets. And the reason we're doing that is because the first row is 28 stitches long. So we need 28 double crochets along the bottom of that row. And then from there, we're going to start with the color work. I don't have the prettiest setup, but hey, it works. So here is our foundation row of 28 stitches, and then from there we're going to start on the second row. Now we're taking a look at the alpha. We're going to be working in 2 rows each. Because we're working with double crochets, we're counting the first 2 rows as 1 double crochet. So as you can see, I'm kind of pointing out this one little column right here, that is 1 double crochet. I hope this makes sense. So essentially, when you're looking at the alpha, you're counting those 2 rows as 1 double crochet, if that makes sense. The second row, I like to work from right to left. So basically, I started here and I went across, and then now I'm on my second row, and then I'm going to go across this way. In order to do that, I'm going to look at my alpha again, and I'm going to count how many pink stitches I have. I have 1, 2 pink stitches. So I have 2 pink stitches before I switch over to the white stitches, and then I'll have 2 white stitches. So I guess we'll do that. I like to chain 2 before I start. I don't count that as my initial chain. I just count that off to the side because I don't really mind if it's bulky. After I do my initial little chain off to the side, I'm going to double crochet 2. So I'm going to put 1 double crochet in that first stitch, and then I'm going to put a second double crochet in the second stitch. But I'm going to show you something different. I'm going to pull through, and then I'm going to pull through again, but I'm not going to yarn over and pull through to complete the stitch. So I have these 2 pieces on my hook right now. Oh no, I just dropped it. I'm going to grab my white yarn. I'm going to hold it in my other hand, and I'm going to use it to yarn over, and I'm going to pull through with the white yarn. So that leaves me with a white stitch to start with, and that is a color change. And then from there, I'm going to add 2 stitches. So I'm going to do 1 white stitch, and then a second white stitch. But before I complete my white stitch with that yarn over pull through, I'm going to switch back to my pink. I'm going to yarn over and pull through using my pink so I can start crocheting with pink again. And then I'm going to keep double crocheting with pink because that's what my graph says. I'm double crocheting 20 stitches before I switch back to the white. So I've completed 20 double crochet stitches, and as you can see, take a look at the alpha, we're going to do 2 white stitches. And you're thinking, wow, I'm gonna have to bring this all the way over here, I'm gonna have a long tail. But no, I'm gonna show you a trick. So I find 1 wraparound equals to about like 1 double crochet. So I'm just gonna wrap this around a bunch of times. So I've secured this little ball. I'm just gonna tuck the end in, and I'm gonna crochet this side of the A using this ball, and then I'm going to start another ball on the other side. So as you can see, I didn't finish my 20th stitch, and I'm going to get started with the white, and there's 2 white stitches. So as you can see, I pulled through with that white, and then I'm going to do 1 white stitch, and then a second white stitch. And then before pulling through, as you can see, I've got 2 stitches left on my, or not 2 stitches, I have 2 loops stuck on my hook. I'm going to yarn over with the pink and then finish that stitch, and that leaves me with this really clean little spot here. Then I'm going to double crochet 2 to finish off this row. And there we go. That is row 2. For row 3, we're going to be working left to right this time because, you know, we just finished off in this section and we're going to work this way now. Essentially, we're working like this woo, woo, woo the whole time. To make it easier for myself, I'm going to flip it over, and it's going to look backwards for a second, but that's okay. So I'm going to chain 2 at the end of my row, and then I'm going to start crocheting. As you can see for row 3, we started off with 3 pink double crochets, and then we switched to 2 white double crochets. So I'm going to do 3 pink double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Before I finish that third one, I'm going to leave those 2 loops on my hook and not finish off that stitch. And this time, when I switch over to the white, I'm going to pull my pink this side, because this side is going to be our bad side. Then I'm going to take my white, pull it over to the working side. Then from there, I'm going to yarn over, pull through, and then I'm going to get started on my 2 white stitches. So 1, 2. Again, I want to switch back to pink, so I'm going to take my white yarn back to the ugly side, and then I'm going to take my pink and I'm going to pull it over to the working side and do my yarn over to finish this white stitch. Then I'm going to double crochet, I believe it's 18, and do the same thing for the other side. So I'm now on my 18th stitch. I'm going to yarn over, pull through, and before I finish that last stitch with those 2 loops there, I'm going to switch over to my white ball, which is this little one I made over here. So I'm going to take my pink, take it to the ugly side, and then I'm going to get my white, and then I'm going to bring it over to this side, which is my working side. Then I'm going to yarn over, pull through to finish off that pink stitch, and then I'm going to double crochet 2 white stitches. So 1, 2, and then before I finish that stitch, I'm going to take it back to this side, and then I get my pink, take it to this side, and then I'm going to finish off that stitch, and then I'm going to finish off the row with 3 pink double crochets. And sometimes it's a little bit loose, but don't worry, you can always pull this end and then it kind of tightens up. So we just finished row 3. That's what the back looks like. This is like the ugly side, which is what I've been calling it. And that's because all of the lines in the extra yarn is on this side. But when we flip it over to the side, ooh, look how clean it is. Look how clean and beautiful. So every other row, you're kind of working differently because you're working with like a bad side and a good side. So yeah. We're going to get started on the 4th row. I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to get started with a double crochet in the first stitch. As you can see on the alpha, next thing we need to do is 4 pink double crochets. So I'm going to do that. 1, 2, and as you can see, I still have those 2 loops on my hook, and I'm ready to finish it off with the white because I'm switching to white. So I drop my pink, I'm going to pick up my white and yarn over and pull through to finish that stitch. Then the alpha says 2 white double crochets. I'm going to go 2 white. Before I finish that stitch, again, drop it and switch back to the pink. It looks really nice. And then I'm just going to keep continuing. 16 more stitches, and then I'm going to repeat the same with the other white on the other side. So same thing again, I haven't finished this stitch, so I'm going to pick up my white, yarn over, finish that stitch with white, and then I'm going to double crochet 2, which is what the alpha says, or grid. I just call it an alpha, I don't know why. And before I finish that stitch, I want to switch back to pink because I'm going to crochet 4 double crochets in pink, and then I am all finished the 4th row. There we go. That is 4 rows, and you're just going to continue doing the same. Because we're doing double crochet, it's a little more complicated in the sense of reading it. As you get going, it's pretty easy. In the back, you know, not bad. Looks really good from the front though, so that's what's important. You can always hide your stitches by crocheting over them, totally up to you. Totally up to you if you want something cleaner. But otherwise, I'm going to finish this by following the same kind of instructions I told you earlier. I have 1 stitch left of the last row, and then I'm all finished. So as you can see, I'm all done. Here is the completed letter. Following an alpha is surprisingly easier than it looks. It looks a bit complicated, but that's okay. The more you work at it, the better you'll get. So I'm really happy with it. I like the way the A looks. So this is what the back looks like. I can weave it on my ends or just leave them or just tie them so they don't undo. Not a big deal, up to you and what you prefer. Most of these will end up on a wall, so I don't really care what the back looks like, but that's just me. Here is what the A looks all finished. It's pretty big. I think it's about like foot by a foot is my guess. But otherwise, yeah, that is how you crochet using an alpha. And if you're interested in all of the alphas I have like a PDF with all of them, but if you don't want to get the PDF, then you can just like probably copy it from looking at it. Anyways, hope you enjoy this video. Bye!